I cracked the code to Absol Box. This toolbox has many options for so many decks in the metagame right now. However, there are some matchups that are very shaky for the deck. One example is the Mega Lucario matchup. This one is ridiculously tricky. There was no direct answer when it comes to which Pokemon or which lines to go through with. Another example is Raging Bolt, a deck that seems like an automatic loss for the deck. And not to mention Mega Venusaur. Yeah, you have the Cornerstone, but now they're including too many techs to fight back against that little pawn. After some searching and some interesting Twitter threads, I came up with a solution. Hoopa EX. This fighting type card can punish these decks for setting energy on the field, whereas before this tech inclusion, there was no direct answer. And I know talk is cheap, so let's take this deck to a league challenge. Starting the game off, I was so confident. I had a Tatsugiri in the active and a cracked hand, but then when he flipped over as active, I knew I was cooked. It was a Makuhita. He is playing Mega Lucario. Despite going first, I got lucky with the Precious Trolley in hand, and even though I have the tech card, I still need to try and set up. After doing attract customers, I wasn't able to find a supporter, so all I did was attach to Absol and pass, and then he attaches for turn and plays a Jacques. What is Jacques doing in this deck? I've personally played this. I've never played Jacques in it. What is he cooking with this deck? Back into my turn, I was able to get an Arven off of the attract customers and get a full setup on my Absol, hoping to donk him next turn. And I lucked out back onto his turn. All he's able to do is attach to the active and pass over, giving me a free knockout with that Absol to just finish the game because he had no backup Pokemon to promote. Despite this easy win, the rest of the tournament did not go this easy. I might have lied about that last part. This next game was against the Mega Venusaur, and it ended in a concession. Playing against Mega Venusaur online, they usually have an answer to this Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, like a Tapu Bulu or a Wochen EX. However, this Mega Venusaur had nothing, and it led me to get an ideal board state where it's a Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX in the active and my Hoopa EX tech card in the back. And no matter what they could do, it was a checkmate board state, so they conceded. Now, despite this tech card being amazing for that last matchup, it is what cost me my game in my third round against Enzorark EX. I was not the only person using this tech card. For this Hoopa tech, it was very favorable for the Absol Box deck. But now there's a direct answer for the Cornerstone because of how much energy it takes to attack that Cornerstone and how much damage the Cornerstone does. All you need to do is Munkidori damage over and take an easy knockout. And that's exactly what happened. The game was going pretty decent. I was in the lead for most of it, but last turn, I made one crucial mistake. I attached a Bravery Charm to my Munkidori and not my Cornerstone. If I would have just attached the Bravery Charm to the Cornerstone, it would have been out of range for a Munkidori Hoopa combo, which he managed to pull off. He E-switched one energy onto the Hoopa, retreated, Night Stretchered for the other energy, attached it to the Hoopa, Munkidori damage over onto the Cornerstone, and took the final 2 prize cards for game. Despite this devastating loss, I am at a 2-1 record, and there is 5 games in this tournament. The next matchup can't be that bad, right? I played an Alakazam next. This deck is ridiculously powerful, doing 2 damage counters per card in hand, and you're drawing every time you evolve. What could I possibly do to stop that? Luckily for me, Absol Box runs one specific card that'll stop the whole deck. Mist Energy. This card says prevent all effective attacks done to this Pokemon from your opponent's Pokemon, and damage counters just so happen to be an effective in attack. If I'm able to just play with this card the whole game on an Absol, there's no way I lose this. And that's how most of the game went. I was using Absol to knock out their active almost every single turn of the game. They were slow playing a little bit, and it ended up going to overtime, but on his first turn of overtime, he played a horrifying card, Enhanced Hammer. Him discarding my Mist Energy can single-handedly lose me the game. That is the only thing protecting me from his massive hand size because I was not able to play an Iono last turn. And all he needs to do is Rare Candy his active Abra, attach an energy, and knock me out. But I got ridiculously lucky. He whiffed. Him whiffing on that Rare Candy allowed me to knock out the active with my Absol, securing another game. Now my record is at 3-1, and I have one more game left. Coming into this next game, I was fairly confident I can win this, until I looked at my starting hand. I started only with a Fezandipiti, and honestly, it's not horrible. I had an Arven in hand, and then my opponent flips over what card he has. It is a Cynthia's Gibble, and even worse, I had to go first. All I was able to do was attach to Fez, Nest Ball for a Tatsugiri, retreat into Tatsugiri, and pass. And even worse for me, my opponent had the nuts. My opponent plays a Buddy Puffin, getting a Gibble and a Roselia, plays TM Evo, turning them into a Gabite and a Roserade. There's no way I lose this, right? Back onto my turn, I attract customers to grab an Iono, and then I play Arven, grabbing an Earthen Vessel, and a TM Turbo Energize to load up my Fez with energy. And now back onto his turn, he rare candies his active and then uses Champion's Call from his Gabite to grab a whole bunch of Cynthia's Pokemon and put them onto the bench. And after rare candying the active, he just knocks out my Tatsugiri for a prize card, freshening his hand up back to 6. How could I possibly respond to this? What I'm able to do in response is play Precious Trolley, setting up an Absol, 2 Munkidoris, and attaching to the Absol, and then knock out the Gabite that was sitting on the bench. However, I make the comeback of the century. After some hard work and critical thinking, I managed to get my board state to an Absol with 3 energy and a Munkidori with an energy already attached for an Adrenabrain. And I was only needing to take 2 more prize cards, whereas my opponent needed to take 3. I was only able to get here because I played an Iono and I used Claw of Darkness the whole game. Being able to rip cards out of your opponent's hand is so fun. Going back onto my opponent's turn, all they can do is swing 160 damage into my active Absol with their heavily damaged Garchomp, guaranteeing me the game. I win by using Penny, an hilarious card. It is a Professor Turo, but better when you have a deck full of basic Pokemon. All I needed to do was Munkidori 30 damage over from the Absol, Penny that Munkidori, attach again to that other Munkidori, and move another 30 damage to use Terminal Period, taking my final 2 prize cards. With a record of 4-1, I placed 3rd, winning myself some nice prize packs. If you guys have any other ideas what I could possibly do for this deck to make it better for the meta, please leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And that's all for today. Peace.